My way, or the highway, and in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
What's going on, everyone? Ryan Anderson Jackson Muniz here for the Gallop Out on behalf of Horseshoe Indianapolis, as we are going to cover the $5 late double, a new wager for Horseshoe Indy, but not new to us, Jackson. We love this $5 minimum bet with the low 15% takeout, very player friendly and fun to dive into. We're going to go on to Tuesday's card, May the 19th, and play that late double.
Yeah, these doubles are always worth getting into with a high minimum, low takeout. And anytime you have large fields, as we do as of right now, those are the ones you want to look at even more. So hopefully the weather holds off and these races do stay on the grass because they're pretty tough.
I hope so. A couple competitive races. First, we're going to start off with the state bred race. It's going to be races 7 and 8 on the Tuesday card. A couple of turf routes for us. Conditions of the race, should note that the rails are out 36 feet. But first one, we're going to go a mile. It's going to be fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward for the state bred non-winners of one allowance company. And we actually have a couple late doubles for you here at the bottom. So I'm going to go just cold 5-9, Jackson. You're going to go 5-8 with the 9. So we'll actually start with the 8 here.
Copies me over here.
Well, I had these picks in before you. What can I say?
Pretty
on the prairie. Going with a bit of a price here. I like it. Trying to spice up that late double.
Yeah, look, I think what makes this race especially so difficult is there's just not a whole lot of turf form to go off of. And especially when you're looking at the horses that are favored on the morning line in both the 9 Eltinge and the 10 Turbo Lady, neither of them have tried the turf before up to this point. And it's not like they have huge grass pedigrees. So while maybe their dirt form gives them a big look, I don't want to take them at short prices. And I was looking elsewhere to find the winner in this race. The Pretty on the Prairie is one that has some turf form. She does have a win over the grass. She does like to settle for a lot of minor words, and it's tough pill to swallow, the 1 for 20. But she is going to be a big price in this race. And the last time she ran on the grass, her most recent race in November, she faced a lot of the same horses that she's going to face in this race. And I thought you can make the case she ran the best race of all in there when she kind of was the only horse to make a big off the pace move. She had to go really wide on the final turn and was getting to those top 2 late. She has to move forward from that, obviously, to make some noise in here, and she does need some more pace. But at 15-1, I thought she was worth at least including.
Yeah, hey, I'm not going to talk you off of a double-digit price, especially in a race like this where the late double that'll really juice up those tickets. But you and I, we both ended up on the number 5 Echo Dreamer, Ralph Martinez, Joe Ramos in the saddle. Look, I think that last one at I believe that's Fairmount Park. That looked like kind of a comebacker. Obviously, it's that zero buyer, go right back angle. But also, when you look to that race 2 back where Echo Dreamer finished right in front of Pretty on the Prairie, that one turf race was pretty nice considering the level, considering the company. So I think we're probably in lockstep on that opinion of, that one turf form kind of stands out. And I like to see her back to the grass. And I like that she got a race under her belt, albeit it wasn't all that great of a race.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not as confident as you are. I really didn't like the last race. And I know you can make the case that it was just a total prep. It was also just 2 weeks ago. It wasn't like this was 6 weeks ago. Okay, we're going to get a race into her. She'll get some foundation, and then we'll get some more works into her. Like, this was not that long ago. She's got to prove that she's still the same horse. Now, with that being said, as you mentioned, her one grass race was good. She got herself into a really good spot in the pocket. And I think, given today's pace scenario, she's going to be able to get the same exact trip. And I think she's just a horse that is better at 2 turns, because you look at her one race going 2 turns on the grass and her one race going 2 turns on the dirt. You can make the case those are the 2 best races of her recent form, her last 5 or 6 races. So I think she's a horse that's going to have a shot. And even if this race does come off the turf, she's got plenty of dirt numbers that make her competitive against this field too. So whether this race is on the grass or the dirt, I will be using her.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, to your point, if this does end up getting taken off of the grass, obviously I have no concerns there. You did mention that the race only came on May 5th. That's going to be 2 weeks from when this race took place. And I get that concern. I do. But to me, that shows that nothing went wrong out of that race. Maybe she just purely did not fire in there. She's fired off the layoff before, which is maybe a little bit of a concern, but it was for a different trainer at the time. So I'm just hoping that obviously no huge red flags there out of that last one. And hopefully coming right back is going to be, or shouldn't be any problem, I should say. So I do think Echo Dreamer on the grass, if she could run back to that number she ran on November 6th, I think that makes her a big time player. If she can, maybe find a little bit more in the tank, I think that definitely makes her very dangerous. So for this late double, I'll play it a little confident and just go with a couple of singles in there. And then Jackson, as we move on to race number 8, the last thoroughbred race of the day, we're going a mile. It's open maiden special weights for 3-year-olds and older, the fillies and mares. You do have a morning line favorite, and the number 10, Long Live Jose Ortiz, is in town for the ride for Brad Cox. Yalpon filly going 2 turns on the grass, cost $475,000. No major turf breeding on the dam side of things. That was kind of what I wanted to play against her. I felt like, Yalpon has been so precocious with those first couple crops with the 2 and 3-year-olds sprinting on the dirt. Going long on turf feels a little counterintuitive, but who am I to question a guy like Brad?
Yeah, and they paid a lot of money for her too. So the fact that she's here at Indy maybe isn't the greatest sign ever, but it's not like Brad Cox hasn't done this before either. I mean, he's set, especially with the fillies, I believe. Good Cheer debuted at Indy, maybe even ran twice at Indy before she went on to be a pretty good horse. So this isn't completely out of the norm for him. I do think it's a little, maybe not the greatest sign ever, but she was working with a horse down at Payson that came back and won on debut on the dirt, and I don't think she was disgraced in those dirt workouts. So she can definitely run a little bit. It's just a matter of whether you trust her outside posts, first time racing, on debut, going long. It's not insignificant hurdles to overcome.
Yeah, and I would expect connections like this at Horseshoe Indy to get bet pretty healthy. Do you expect this horse to go off in like that 7-5 kind of range? And if this horse is dead cold on the board, how big of a red flag would that be to you?
Yeah, I expect the money to tell the story with fillies like this. So we'll hopefully get some clues with the double probables.
I like it. You and I ended up on the same horse. We went kind of that logical second choice, that second alternative. We went to the number 9, Bullet Journal. Why'd you end up on this filly?
Look, she was horrible last time. There's no way around it. Yeah, she had a wide trip, and maybe that was a built-in excuse, but she also lost by 10 lengths, and you lose by 10 lengths on the grass. That's a trouncing. So that is the concern with her. The problem is her race 2 back was really good when she had another not ideal trip. She had to make kind of a wide move on the turn, which is it's typical of that rider. So that's just kind of what you get. And that was a really good field that day. I mean, East Julep came back, or East Jabip, I think is the name of the winner, came back to win at Keeneland. A couple horses that finished behind her came back to win or run extremely well. I think if you can trust, you can believe in that figure for sure, that race, that it was that good. It's just a matter of getting back to that race, because if she runs that race on February the 26th, she's a very likely winner in my opinion. And if she's not going to be favored in this race, then I think that's a decent gamble that she will be able to get back to that good form at 7-2.
I agree. In for Riley Mott with Axel Concepcion taking him out. He is 4 for 11 so far at the Indy meet as they kick things off. I'm with you. I think that 2-back race, obviously, it fits in a big way. I'm almost willing to draw a line through that last out at Gulfstream just because the jockey kind of kept her wide that entire time. You're not going to win on those tight turns at Gulfstream Park. You're not going to win, period, really, on turf if you're just going unnecessarily wide. And I guess to the credit of the jockey, drawn post 12 for a horse that likes to be kind of mid-pack-ish. Not a whole lot you could do, but obviously that was kind of one of those no-chance trips, at least for me. So, but getting beat 10 lengths, that's never something you want to see. I do think this horse can get back to that effort 2-back, though, and I felt confident enough to use this horse as a lone A, as did you. Is there anybody else in this field that maybe gave you, cause for concern in terms of whether it's the pace, like the horse to the inside and Lazy Y Legacy, or anybody else that you think could maybe take a step up and threaten?
Yeah, I think Lazy Legacy ran well both for grass races. I think my worry for her, she might just be a little too slow, and I think this is a pretty good group. And it feels like maybe this is just a prep where they're protecting her, and then next time out you're going to want her when she drops back down into class. But I thought the other Riley Mott horse was interesting as well. Miso Speedy. I do prefer the 9, but if this day does stay on the grass, with the turf pick 3 they have at Horseshoe, these are the type of horses I love playing the turf pick 3, where I think the morning line is probably too high and she's going to play much lower than that come race day, because I do believe, especially with it being the last leg of the turf pick 3, you can still get a lot of value. I think you can get closer to that 8-1 on the morning line. She'll play like an 8-1 shot in the turf pick 3, whereas if you play the double or you play the win bet, she'll be closer to probably half of that. And I think she ran very well in that race. The pace was not particularly hot. She closed really well. The number came back fast. And anytime either Mott trainee, whether it's Bill or Riley, anytime their horses run well first time out, you're going to take notice of that, because that's just not something their horses typically do. So I think you can safely upgrade this horse that she'll run better in her second career start.
I like it. You also get Jaime Torres. I'm with you on the turf pick 3 point. That's an excellent one, where this horse is likely going to play a lot bigger in that type of horizontal compared to the doubles, even the late pick 3. All 3 of those sequences player friendly with the low takeout. Yeah. Jackson, thank you.
It's very it's very similar to like what we saw yesterday with the Preakness. Like the money is just it's very different pools. Whereas like the win pool yesterday in the Preakness, you have horses like Great White who were whatever he went off at. I don't even know what he went off at. It was probably like 9-1 or something. But he was playing like 30-1 in all the other pools, and it was the opposite with Iron Honor and Napoleon Solo. They were, I think, 7 and 8-1 in the win pool, but they were playing closer to 4 or 5-1 in the exactas in the low pace. So it's a very similar concept, and it's just a way to get a little bit more of value in these different pools.
Another excellent point. That's why I like having you as my co-host. So thank you, Jackson, and thank you for everybody for tuning in and watching. Hope that you play the $5 late double with that 15% takeout at Horseshoe Indy. Play it every day, but this double is for Tuesday, May the 19th. I'm going to go 5-9, a cold single double. Jackson going to go 5-8 with the 9, try and spice things up with a bit of a price. We will see you here on the Gallop Out next week when we cover more races from Indy and from wherever else in the racing world that we end up touching on. But this show brought to you by Horseshoe Indianapolis. Can't thank them enough, and looking forward to a full season, full meet long of coverage from the Gallop Out crew. Thanks, guys.